Okay. So this is the last one from 7.1 that I intend to do. This is number 11. If you have specific questions about 7.1 or whatever, email them to me, and I'll do my best. This video stuff is kind of new to me, but I'll give it a go. What we have here is the first premise is some huge nasty statement. And if you're like me, the first thing that you do when you see all this is you cry, and then you start to try to run away. But there's really no reason to do that. Just because a statement is big and long, has brackets and parentheses and all that stuff, is really complicated, it's really no big deal. Because we're going to go step by step and break that down to make it simpler and simpler. So same deal. We want to know that D is false. So the first thing we're going to do is try to find D in the premises and see what we're going to have to do to get it by itself and being false. The only place D shows up is right here, where it's stuck in that huge nasty thing that makes me want to cry. No problem though, we're good to go. So as I look at all of our statements here, I see that we have a not J and a not J, right? And this is an if then. So I got a good hunch that we're going to be able to do some modus ponens here. And in fact, here's a little secret that I don't always tell you. A lot of times when it comes to these proofs, you get stuck and you don't know what to do next. The thing to do next is something. As long as you validly apply a rule, as long as you make a true statement out of what you're given, it may not be necessary, but it won't be wrong. There's no one right way to do all these proofs. So as long as the next step you take is valid because it follows the rules, then we're cool. You will find that when you're stuck, if you just do something, very often you do that 2 or 3 times and you get what you need to finish off the proof. So don't be afraid of just experimenting. Just make sure that all of your steps are validly inferred. So I said modus ponens. Really not where I probably would have started. I kind of like this disjunctive syllogism setup here. But we're going to go with modus ponens. Since line 3 confirms the antecedent of line 1, we can conclude the consequent, which is some big nasty thing right now. We got that from 1 and 3, modus ponens, right? Because 3 was the antecedent of 1. Now, in our effort to get D by itself, it'd be nice if we knew that A was false. But we don't really have that information. So we're going to have to get it somewhere. I notice here in 2 and 3, like I said before, one of my favorite rules, disjunctive syllogism, this says you either have J or you have not A. 3 says you don't have J. Then I guess we have not A. That's all that's left. And if you have trouble following that, look at the rule for disjunctive syllogism. In an or statement, you have 2 options. If one of them is taken away, then the other one's left. J or not A? Not J? Well, then I guess we have the other one. In this case, not A. That would be lines 2 and 3, disjunctive syllogism. Now we've set ourselves up for modus ponens, because you'll notice we have an if-then statement, and the antecedent here is the same thing. So we can say, if D then A, and that's from lines 4 and 5, modus ponens. Even though we weren't given either of these, we know they're true because the steps we took were truth preserving. Last then, for us then, what do you think will be for our last step? We know the last step is always the conclusion. That's always the right thing to say at the end. How are we going to get not D out of here? If you said lines 6 and 5 modus tollens, then you got it. If you said like hypothetical syllogism or something, then you don't got it. So from 5 and 6, not 5 and 6. Yep, 5 and 6, modus tollens. In an if-then statement, if the consequence is false, like we learned in line 5, then we can conclude that the antecedent is false. So we're cool. This proof is done.